let's look at another case study. This one I call front teeth ... pass. If you're only working from a Panorex X-ray for doing implants, you've got to really reevaluate your next purchase on equipment, and you need to get a CT. There's no excuse today. They're cheap enough to everybody should have one in their office. Here's like a Panorex view, and it actually looks pretty good. The bone height here doesn't look too bad. Here's where the bone is here, and this patient's coming in with a fractured front tooth with the root canal, and he's got his primary occlusion here and here, so he's eating okay there. Maybe he needs a new crown there. But let's look closer at why I'm saying let's take a pass on this case unless he wants to do something else. Right now he just has a stay plate that he has the laterals, and he's had that for a while. But when you look in our three-dimensional viewpoint on the CT, you'll really realize what the problem is. First, let's look at our treatment assessment. That is going to be pretty good on the bone density. That's not a problem. That's a light green. The constriction actually isn't bad, but when we get to the facial bone and the flare, those are both in the red. So he has this really, really heavy orthodontic, or his flare of his teeth are just like this. It's really just too hard to try to get anything stable that way that's going to stay in. And let's look at that right here. I'm going to go right around number 8, and you can see what I'm talking about. But here we are. So this is what I'm talking about in terms of the ortho flare. His facial bone starts to wither away right here. That's worse. I would rather have the facial plate be thin here and thick here. That's a better scenario. But when it's really thin there, it's really hard. Here it's just thin all the way around. The constriction's not too bad. But look at this. That's like, man, that's like a 45 degrees, or, you know, whatever. It's a right angle there. That is crazy. Let's just see what we actually have here. Let's see. It says 113. So there you have it. So if that's a right angle, that's 90 degrees there. He's kind of like, might be, yeah, that's pretty brutal. That's a tough angle to work with no matter what you do, whether you have natural teeth or you have a bridge or anything. This is a challenge across the board. Dentures in his future. The problem with him with the dentures is that if he keeps the lower teeth here, or even if he doesn't, his bony arch is going to be here. His bony arch is going to be here. And having this as the cantilever out in the front is very, very difficult, even if he has a hybrid or any of that stuff. And you can see here's, well, let's see, here's his bony arch on number 7, and this is probably going to be it. So this would be better, but when you have to set the teeth, in this guy's case, try to get him some sort of balanced occlusion. Let's say he had a full upper and a full lower, and this is how the bone ended up. You're going to have to bring his natural teeth or forget about where his natural teeth were and put the prosthetic teeth inward. It's not exactly what patients are expecting, but you're going to have to really bring them in. It does change the way they look. It certainly changes the way they feel. But there's no other way you can get a balanced bite out of it. I call it the field of function. And what I mean by that is, and I'll explain this field of function in another video, but it basically means that we have these severe flare ortho with the bone way back here as support. Patients always want to bite in the front, and if they want to bite in the front and don't learn the lesson on a locator upper, that's why I only do these locator uppers now, is that it will pop out. So they always complain about popping out. It's better than complaining about it popping out, doing the locators, giving up, and they leverage it. That just means they have to learn to chew more towards the premolars. So if you have a fixed hybrid and you're biting like this, you're going to pop those teeth off, or you're going to break the whole thing. So you cannot load like this. And patients will, I guarantee, bite on the front. Every single patient I see, they don't get the idea of not leveraging that. Even if they say they get it, they understand it, they still bite on the front teeth. It's something I just don't want to deal with anymore. I get so tired of it. So this is a pass for me, because I'm not really sure what this patient wants to do here. He's got this fractured tooth, and this is really hard to overcome. Let's see, let's get that looking a little better there. There, it looks better. So here he's lost a ton of facial plate because of the fracture. And, you know, I don't know what else you're going to do here. If he loses this one, you can do a fixed piece across here. So a 6-unit bridge. These are already splinted. I'm not sure why those are splinted, but it makes me feel like, oh shoot, maybe we should split another one or double abutment all the way across. So maybe it's an 8-unit bridge if he wants something fixed. I don't do partial dentures, really. So I would hate to, you know, take that out, add another tooth to that. I guess he could do that. But eventually he has to figure out what the heck is he going to do here. An 8-unit bridge will last for a while until that goes away. And then, you know, he's still going to want to bite on the front teeth is his problem. You know, you have to really hammer that home. So let's look closer at the CT. Let's look at that fracture. Let's look at that bone. So here's where he is. And so let's look at this bone where he's missing the lateral right here. And this is his future, is how I see this. This is how his bone eventually becomes when he loses a tooth. So that future does not look good. Even if you could slip an implant in there, that orthoflare just really kills you. The bone density is good. And then when we go over to number 7 here, that's number 10. We have a little more bone, but that doesn't really help us if we've got 9 and 10. But it looks very similar. You got a little more thickness, but we're still stuck with what we're stuck with. So I don't know. We never treated this patient. That is one big canine. Yeah, the rest he could live with. I mean, the rest is okay. Another thought could be, if you could, is do orthodontics to bring the lower teeth back inward. That would be an interesting solution. You could do that, and then you don't have this giant flare of teeth in the front overloading too much biomechanical stress on this one. So this one, you know, unfortunately we have not seen this patient back. We did take a pass on it, meaning that I don't think that there was really much we could do to help him, especially if he's only looking for implants. Even if you graft this site, it's not going to be good enough. You're really stuck here. It looks, from a panoramic point of view, like it looks pretty good, but there isn't really much you can opt in with. So, unfortunately, I would say that the only thing I can think of is a fixed piece, a very large bridge. I don't know if it needs double abutments. I think if he's biting on the front teeth, I guess you'd have to double abut to help try to save number 8 there, but I don't know. That's a tough one. So anyway, that's it for this, I guess pretty simple, straightforward decision that we made, and that this case study is what it is. Anyway, like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube, and check us out on some of our live streams, and thanks for joining. Appreciate it.